Hi friends, as our CodeAbbey, our website for programming exercises, for hosting programming challenges, etc., it is moving to open source. I would like to demonstrate how you quickly, in say about half an hour or quicker, can deploy it freely on free web hosting, so you can use it for personal purposes, for your friends, for your kids, for school, university, for company, etc. Let's go. To host the site you need two things: the sources. They are found by this link in the footer now, and the hosting itself. Let us go to the sources. They are at GitHub, and README file shown here, it contains already some instructions about running locally or in a virtual private server with Docker, or running on shared hosting. Shared hosting could be free or paid. It's hosting where large servers with PHP and MySQL are shared by multiple users, small enterprises, etc. It's a pretty cheap option with many useful features. You do not need to set up this infrastructure yourself. And what is great is that there exist a few free of them. One of them is Award Space. We use it for interactive problems for years already. The only requirement is that you log in into control panel at least once per year. There are limitations, of course. You may try other free hostings, for example Infinity Free. It provides, for example, HTTPS, which is quite popular now, but it has, I believe, has limitation of 50,000 requests per day. Probably it's enough, probably not. For your needs you need to try. Anyway, when we log in here, we get to control panel. I'm already here, just it doesn't redirect immediately on clicking. It loads in a few seconds, and well, you see free hostings are sometimes not extremely quick to respond, but it is not about the site. Site would work alright. What we see here is a dashboard. When we get lost, we can always click dashboard here, and we start with creating domain, or rather subdomain. It's a kind of name by which our site is known. For example, you see here is already domain CodeAbbey Games at webpages.com, which we use for interactive problems. We just will create new one, create a free subdomain. You can, I believe, register a domain with a short name and link it here, but I haven't tried yet. Let us call it CA test, CA for CodeAbbey. That's all. Yep, you see here is the domain. If we click open files, we let us see. Yep, we get to file manager. It's also accessible from dashboard. I will show, but there is a problem. It doesn't allow to upload multiple files with subdirectories at once. So we shall try another way. We shall return to file manager a bit later to edit configuration, but another way to upload is FTP manager. FTP is a file transfer protocol, and you then use some client to do the work, but first of all you need details of FTP account. Probably there is one default and you can create additional. Here is one. I never remember password, but it could be regenerated. Here I generate something, click change password. That's it. Now how to connect? There is information button, and two ways to upload multiple files at once are either SFTP, secure FTP client, or the tools like graphical tools like FileZilla. Probably it's the best for you. The plain FTP console client do not allow to upload multiple files also, so we do not use it. We use SFTP. I use SFTP. SFTP minus P221, it's the port for SFTP. And see this CA test at webpages.com. One small thing, we need to supply proper username. 3953276 @ separates the username from the host name. Let's try. Password is in my clipboard. I paste it. I'm here. List files. You see here are. If we switch to file manager now, we shall see just the same. It all takes some time. Okay, meanwhile it's loading. I list the local files, LLS, and I'm in the folder where I already downloaded source files from the GitHub. Where you yourself get them, the easiest way is to click this green button and download zip archive. You download an archive, you unpack it, and you have the same folder as I have, with this controllers, pages, etc, etc, etc. Now here file manager have loaded. You can see that there are these two subdomains, and this is empty. This one is empty. If we go to CI test at webpages.com, we see some default placeholder page. Okay, we need to upload here. Let's see. From SFTP, the command is put -r asterisk. Asterisk means all files. -r means recursively go into every directory. Let's go. Funny, it's because I forgot to change directory to, you see it says permission denied, because I need to descend to this CA test. Change directory, CA. Okay, let's just repeat this command. It takes some time. The full archive, you shall see it is about a couple megabytes. There are, despite there is just bare functionality, it takes number of files. You see all these controllers, pages, fragments, images of buttons. Also, you see various libraries, mainly JavaScript libraries. For example, library for editing source code in the form of the page submission, task submission page. So, okay, it's already pages. It is ready. Let us check. Refresh it, right? Okay, it will probably take some time more, but there are all files. And now if we retry, we see MySQL error, because of course we haven't set the database yet. Let us open a dashboard in a new page, I believe, in a new tab. And there is a database manager. There are no database yet. We shall create new one. It has some name with prefix. Let us call it CA for CodeAbbey. Password. Oh no, like this. Copy here. Just click create. Just make sure it's MySQL. Database is ready, and here are its details. We need to configure them. For this, there is a file conf.php. As I mentioned several times, I don't recommend to edit it directly, because it could be inadvertently overridden by you with the updates from repository. Rather, we create new file, which is called cast.conf.php. Create, and it's 0 bytes. We shall edit it. We just leave what we need to modify. It's loaded after the default configuration file, so these lines will be overridden. Mod rewrite I will set to false, because we still need to set up rewriting of URLs on hosting if it works at all. Now for database properties, here is the host, which is this one. The next thing is very mysterious. There is a port, it's default port, but I put host here, but I shouldn't write port here. It will end in error. I should remove it. I do not know why. It's just the peculiarity of this hosting. It just was found by trial and error. I copy the username and database name are the same, and prefix is left what it is. This setup doesn't require dedicated prefix. And password is here. Great. Don't forget save. And let's try. No, let's not try, because we still need to populate this database with the tables. Initialize it. We switch. Here there is a button, PHP My Admin. It's a popular tool for managing MySQL databases. We need to click here to make this database selected, And now click SQL tab, switch to the sources and find a file db init. There are queries for initializing database. Skip the first 4 lines because they are about creating database itself and default user, and these are ones which we actually need. Copy and paste them here. Go. Okay. It takes some time, but it's ready. You see, there are tables. Some of them already have some data, but if we switch to the side now, it doesn't work. I have missed something. I have put space here, you see. Be careful here. What is fine about PHP, you do not need to recompile anything. Just edit and it's alright. Okay, there was a previous login and it clashes with a new installation. No worry. Now there is empty site. There are no problems, for example. Let us populate problems too. Here you can either create them as admin, or you can for testing, for exercise, copy them from there. Do not copy use selecting the database, just copy the statements themselves. Again, click SQL tab. It should work. Great. By now, these tasks, you see, there are some work for admin, for example, to set tags to them. Let us create 2 users. The first user created is admin. It's you can modify this in database if you want, but it's just convenient. Email doesn't make much sense because on free hosting you won't be able to use it for restoring access to accounts, and we never send emails from the site ourselves. Register. Okay, I'm admin. You see, I can edit problems. Here is the statement, the checker, about which there are explanations on the main site. Probably I shall copy them to wiki in project, open source project later. For example, admin can set up tags, right? For example, let's create tag simple and add it to this problem and remove tag. So now when I see this table, if I filter by tag simple, it works like this. Wonderful. Now let us create user and try to solve the task. Test user. It should work. You see? You don't see. Let's try to reload it. Okay, you see there are all these buttons as on main site for running the code. Most of them won't work, except those in browser, I believe, because they need sandbox, and sandbox is a separate server. You are not setting it this time, and you probably won't get it free. But for example, JavaScript works in the browser, so it should be all right. Let us try. We have input and output special function for JavaScript. Like this. Input reads the line of the input. The problem is to sum two numbers. Right. We input the line, we split it, and we found result by summing them. This won't work immediately because well, let us try. We select JavaScript here, we click run it. We see that they are added as strings, right? If we click submit, we said this wrong. Try again. Now we let us, perhaps it's parse int, or we can multiply the string value by 1 to make it number. Let us try. Now it's more like result. Submit. Congratulations. Yep, we have solved our first task at our very own website. You may want to modify it. For example, we want to modify the image. I'm not sure how exactly it will work, but let's grab an image in new tab. Oh, it's very small. But it doesn't matter. We just put it into imgur, and we need a link to this exactly image. Okay, now what we want is to modify configuration. The instruction in project explains in the last section how we can customize the main features with configuration. So let us have a look into it. For example, there is main image property. Let us try to modify it. Ctx context elements. I believe it should be like this. Let's try. Oh, wonderful, right? So in the same manner, you will change name of the site. You can change these fragments and otherwise alter the look of the site for your needs, for your school, for your enterprise, etc. That's all I wanted to show for now about how to use this site, about how to administer it. I probably shall add a bit more videos a bit later, but you can find these things easily on your own. For example, it's not work like this. Editing wiki, I believe it's I can't edit them as a user. I need to edit them as a admin. So all these things, they could be found in wiki on main site, or I shall add them as explanations to the project here a bit later. Anyway, I would be glad if you can use this solution for educating your people, your students, or anyone for any good purpose. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Goodbye.